Tired of being the yes woman all the time? Learn how to be assertive and have a say in your own life right after this.
Welcome to the Black Girl Bravado podcast, your weekly fix for all things mental health and wellness. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Germany. And not only are we besties, but we're your besties. You heard me right. It's homegirl vibes here.
Get ready for the girls to dish the real, the raw, and the fucking funny.
And listen, we may drag you, but it's always in love. Let's start the show, cuties.
Hey, y'all.
Hello, girls.
Week 2, we're back.
And boys. If you're here listening, welcome.
Yes, welcome.
It's good to be here.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
It is good to be here. By
too.
now, we're full swinging into summer. How are you feeling?
What about the summer? I feel good. About the summer? Or how am I
about
feeling?
the summer.
Oh, I feel good about the summer. I feel good. Kind of excited to do some things, have some fun, be outside. All of the things, I'm ready. I'm ready for it to really
I'm
kick
like, when
into
does
gears.
it start? Because it don't. When does summer usually? I know summer starts June 21st, but like, when does it feel like, ooh? I know, like in New York, it's giving summer. From what I
already?
see, like it's already sunny. They're having their block parties. They outside rooftop parties. In LA, it's like maybe it's loud, and I'm not privy. I feel like I've gotten unprivy to what be happening, and I need to get back privy.
Yeah.
I need to get back privy because I'm feeling on the outside.
I think things are just starting to kick up. Things are just starting to kick up.
One day I woke up and it was sunny, but every other day it's been gloomy, raining and shit outside, like a slight mist sprinkle.
Yeah, but then after the gloom, it kind of peaks.
Yeah, I said I'd be outside at lunch. On my lunch break, I'm outside.
That's what I started to do.
But I'm like, this is summer. Is at work is not the summer.
No, you need to have your day parties.
Exactly,
your brunches.
I need to have my okay.
But I think those things
work
are
so
about
hard.
to start kicking up.
When you work so hard during the week, it's like, I need to have a good time on the weekend.
A release of sorts.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to do something. I want to have a pool day at the house. I was planning to have a pool day soon, actually, but I think it might be being taken off my calendar. But I want to do some stuff at my apartment, and I want to use my balcony. Like, I want to be outside and chilling. That's what I want to do this summer. Relax.
Yeah, you can do that all day.
I know. That's what I want to do. I don't typically, but I'm excited. I'm actually going to be outside today. I'm going to be out at the beach.
Nice.
And it's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it's going to be 80.
When I walked outside, I was like, oh, wow, it's hot already.
It was gloomy by my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was already warm. I was like, okay, this is how we're kicking it off.
It was gloomy, but I saw the weather and I said, but it's going to be nice. I hate how my day is today. I have whatever. But anywho, summer's here. Looking forward to having a good time.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Hopefully you all are having a good time too. Have some things on your agenda to make the most of it, because baby, that winter and that fall come right around. But I did find somewhere that I'm going for the end of the year.
Oh, in December?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jamaica.
Oh, cute. You can work what, remote?
No, I'm going to be off. I'm going to be off.
Just for the weekend?
No, for the week. I'm not going it's going to be at the end of December going into January.
So it's basically free time for you to go.
Yeah. I just can't go to where I initially wanted to go because it takes so long to get there.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Cute. Who are you doing that with? Or is that
Morgan.
a secret? Oh, okay.
It's not a secret.
Didn't know if we were exposing it.
It's not a secret.
If it was giving, not necessarily secret, but if you wanted to dish on the pod.
Oh, no. Yeah, no secret.
Okay, cute. Love it. You already got your travel?
No.
You already started
No,
securing?
I haven't paid for it, but
It's in the
I know
calendar.
where I'm going.
It's on the books.
Yeah, I know where I'm going.
It's on the books. Okay,
Yeah.
Cute. Excited.
So I said all that to say because it keeps my summer energy up when you go somewhere tropical in the winter. But anywho, we're back here with y'all. Last week, our first episode back in a while, was talking about advice we would give to our younger 20-year-old selves. So go listen to that if you haven't already.
Mm-hmm. It was a good long one.
It was. We had a lot to say, obviously.
Lengthy.
But today, so we talk a lot about standing on business. I'm standing on business. But the truth is, a lot of us aren't. A lot of us want to stand on business, but it's difficult. It's difficult to stand on business. And a part of standing on business means to assert yourself, when you're standing on something, it's easier if you're standing on something that's just, that something that you've proclaimed to yourself that you don't have to share with anybody. You don't have to communicate with anybody. It's like, okay, this is what I have. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm doing. But baby, when you have to say things to other people, when you have to communicate your feelings to other people, your thoughts, your opinions to other people, it can be hard.
Yeah.
It can be challenging. And because it's challenging, a lot of us take the more passive approach. We don't want to ruffle feathers. We don't want anyone upset. We don't want to cause any tension or problems. And so we might be more passive.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about the shift from passive to assertive.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're aggressive. You need to go the other way.
Listen, you need to put your shit in reverse.
But the goal is to step more into our assertive bag because it's important. So before we get into the whole nitty gritty, let's just define what it means to be passive so you can identify, maybe I am a little passive. Yeah. Passive pussy.
Oh, wow. The punani. The passive punani.
No, I ain't that.
The passive punani.
So if you're passive, you're usually going along with others to avoid conflict. So you're not expressing your needs or your opinions. You're letting people probably walk all over you. We talked about people pleasing on our Patreon bonus episode. So there's something there. But yeah, people may be walking all over you. So here's some characteristics of passive behavior. You have difficulty saying no. You avoid conflict. You let other people make decisions. It's like, you got it. You got it. I trust you.
Yeah.
Or you might feel unheard and resentful.
Yeah. And I feel like we've all had our moments where we've dealt in like passive communication style or passive behavior. But the key here is we don't want to live there.
No.
We want to progress out of that and eventually make our way towards being assertive in our communication style. So being assertive means that you can communicate your thoughts and your feelings, your emotions directly, but respectfully, right? It's basically like standing up for yourself while still considering what other people might be experiencing. You don't want to just come in like a tyrant. It's a happy medium where you can be vocal, direct, but you're not just throwing your weight around. And that be the T. That's when you're aggressive.
It's a dance. It's a really delicate dance. And I think that's why it's so complicated because to get your point across and to still consider somebody else's needs and make sure your delivery is right and your tone and your body language and like what you want to be said is actually communicated can be tough, especially if it's like a difficult conversation. There's a spectrum of conversations and things that we have to talk about where we have to assert ourselves. It's easier if the topic's more light, and depending on who you're talking to. But if it's somebody that you really care about and maybe they feel differently or you don't know how they feel, baby, it can be hard to figure out how am I going to say this, and I want to appear confident, but then I also want them to not be offended. It's so much.
It's a balance. It's a balance, and it does take a certain level of confidence and self-awareness for you to have difficult conversations. And anytime you have to stand up for yourself, it's like, okay, here we go.
Bambi.
Here we go.
Bambi.
Yeah, exactly. Knees are shaking, but we can do it.
We can.
And it comes down to a skill set and flexing the muscle. Because to not do it is detrimental.
Yeah.
You can't have people walking all over you, beloved. Not in 2024.
And I think I can speak for us all when I say that we all have the desire to confidently stand up and express our needs when it comes to declining an invitation, having a difficult conversation with a coworker, a friend,
to our life,
a partner. We need this.
Yeah.
We need this tool in our toolkit, especially as we mature and we get older. We want to be able to communicate ourselves clearly and effectively, like, yes.
And I feel like it makes us more graceful women. More graceful, like when somebody's like, okay, I understand that what she delivered might have been tough, but she did it so gracefully. Like, there was a certain level of, mwah, je ne sais quoi.
It makes you respect it, too.
Yeah.
I respect people that are able to assert themselves, and I admire it. Mm-hmm. It's a really admirable trait.
Yeah.
Because I can recognize how difficult it is. Like, damn, I be shaking sometimes when I have to say stuff. And sometimes I'm like, I just got to say this, and
then it might
saying it.
Then it might not be come across the right way because you're just pushing through instead of being like, okay, how can I really assess a situation where I can stand up for myself, but I also have to consider what they might be experiencing on the other side.
Yeah, this is real peak emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
So, do you think that you do a good job of expressing your feelings and your opinions and beliefs openly, even if someone disagrees with your point of view?
I think I do, but sometimes I could get a little passionate about it, like wanting people to see my perspective, that I may not leave a lot of room for there to be an alternative belief than mine, but when it comes down to just saying what I want to say, yeah, maybe not being as receptive to what they want to say after. You know what I mean?
Right.
That part
and
is what
it's a two-way street.
It is a two-way street, and that's the part of my dance. That's the step in my dance that I'm still trying to figure out, But overall, I feel like I can be pretty clear when it matters. When it's like dealing with a loved one or emotional. I mean, when I have an emotional attachment to the person, I feel like it takes me more time to process and get in the space where I can be more assertive. But when I have no emotional attachment, it's kind of like.
But even if it's not about being assertive, it's just about the communication part, like being able to.
Yeah. I believe so. Yeah, I can. What about you?
Express.
I do. I believe I do. What about you?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I think that I think I'm good at expressing myself if I feel like my beliefs are different. I don't hold back, I'll say. I'm not afraid to be like, oh, I don't quite see it that way, or I don't agree. Now, when we're going back and forth, sometimes it depends on the person I'm talking to, because sometimes I feel like people want to debate, and I don't like debating. I don't like debating. Like, for instance, I'll give an example. Like, and maybe this is a flaw. This could be seen as a flaw. If I have a point of view, I don't like when people try to convince me of their point of view. Like, it can be like we're having a conversation and we have different points of views, and then oftentimes what we're trying to do is to get people to see our side to the point of convincing. And I feel like we can understand each other's side and still not agree. And I feel like it becomes more of a debate when we're trying to convince the other person of what we see and how we feel.
Yeah, I understand that. I feel like sometimes we have those conversations, and instead of it being a conversation, to your point, because you don't like to debate, it just becomes an immediate shutdown. Like, okay, well, I agree to disagree. I mean, we can agree to disagree, and then there's no more discourse, and I think that that's the part where you can, like, not telling you what to do, obviously, but where there can be more room for conversation. Like, yeah, I do see it differently, and you see it differently, and we're just talking about the difference that we see. Now, yeah, sometimes it does become this, like, position where, now don't you see it that way? I feel like that's the part where it can get a little tricky,
right? And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
and you can be firm in the no.
Right, like, I understand. You can understand what someone's saying, but that hasn't changed the way that I feel about it or how I see it. And I can feel the same way, like, when I'm on the other end, when I want to convince somebody of how I see something, it could become that's where it could become a problem.
Yeah, where the tension starts to.
Right. It's like, hold on, especially if you really believe something. It's like, how the fuck don't you see it this way?
I like when there's healthy conversation. So I'm okay with a healthy debate. I don't like it when it turns, like, sour, when it starts getting nasty, where we're beyond conversation, like when it's not conversational anymore, and the person damn near, it seems like they're just so ignorant to seeing, like, like, I can see your point, I just don't agree with it. Right. Versus, like, I don't even see your point.
Yeah, then it's like, okay, completely blind.
Now I got to put it down. Yeah, exactly. Completely blind. Now I'm actually done with you, bitch. Because you don't understand it all. So how comfortable are you with delivering bad news or saying no in a way your friend, your colleague, or a team member still feels valued?
It's hard for me to deliver bad news. I'm not good at bad news. I kind of drag my feet with the delivery of the bad news, because I'm already thinking about how the person is going to respond and trying to get ahead of that and manage that. So it's not good for me. And that's one thing I want to work on. I want to work on being assertive when I have to deliver something that is not as pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah. A gentle way. That's real and not fake, but also, like, this is the news. And I will say that my current position is pulling that out of me. I have to. In a lot of situations, dealing like with personnel issues, I have to deliver bad news with tact and grace and still understanding the other person. So that'll cross over into my personal life, I'm sure. But that's hard.
Whew. It can be. It is tough. But it's good that you're learning that, like, you're having those moments where now you get to learn it, because it's an area of opportunity. And like you say, you get to take it into your personal life and add it to your toolkit. So the next time that you need to have a tough conversation with a friend or a loved one, it's like, I already have experience.
Right.
I'm going to just get in my bag real quick.
Yeah.
The muscle has been being flexed.
If I'm delivering bad news, like in a relationship, it's at a point where I've already been boiling.
And I don't give a fuck. Now I can't even be as gentle or soft.
It's at the point where it kind of comes off callous or cold, because it's like I'm actually fed up.
Yeah.
And I'm over it. I'm done. Yeah. And it seems like, wow, heartless.
And the assertive communication can really help us in that. Like,
yeah, I could be assertive throughout. Like, you know what? I know that this is difficult. I know that I'm telling you something that is not pleasant, but I don't like this. Or, like, this doesn't work for me, or that you have to be assertive from the beginning. Honestly, it's harder once you're like being passive and acting like everything's okay, and then all of a sudden it's like
you switched up on me.
You done. It's like, where did that come from? Now it's a shocker.
Yeah.
To the other person, and to me, I'm like, it's been building up, and that's not fair.
You haven't noticed?
That's not fair to me. It's not fair to the other person. So I really, really, really have to be assertive from the beginning.
Yeah.
I have to. Not when it's just like
Fuck
blow up.
Yeah.
That's not cool. How about you? Do you feel comfortable delivering bad news to folks?
I do. I do feel comfortable delivering bad news. Because I usually
How do you do it?
I was about to say, I usually have the approach of sandwiching the bad news. Like, I'll start off with something.
Yeah, I heard of the sandwich. Okay.
I'll start off with something positive or good, and then I'll put in the middle what's changing, the bad news, and then I'll always end it with some love, some tenderness. So I really feel like that's a strong quality of mine. Like, when we've partnered with people in our business and we've had to say so long is no longer a fit, I usually do the delivery.
Yeah.
I'll do the delivery. And I never feel bad. I never feel like, damn, now it's fuck them, or like they feel like it's fuck us. It's
right.
like, oh, we're just going our separate ways. And we have appreciated all of your efforts. It just no longer works for us. And I always feel good about it at the end, because I know my heart. I know that I'm coming from a pure place. Yeah. So that keeps me in the space of like, some things have to end. And it's okay if I have to tell you. Now, what makes it a little tricky
is when you get pushback.
Nah, there's rarely pushback.
Well, maybe not with the work relationships, but if it's like a relationship, you can get pushback.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel like where it gets tricky, bad news. I've been blessed to have people in my life who we communicate pretty clearly. So when I'm delivering bad news to a friend or somebody who I'm in close relationship with, I don't feel like it's pushback. We just get a chance. The space opens up for us to share our experiences, right? And how we both feel. So I then can offer grace and listen to them and hear what they might be experiencing, because maybe I've done something, and then it just fosters more improved communication, right? We're both at that point asserting our opinions and our emotions and our feelings. So it never feels like pushback. It just becomes like, now we can dialogue. And I really appreciate that in my relationships, my close relationships. Like, I can tell you how I'm feeling, and now we can talk about it.
Right.
So yeah, no. Yeah.
Thank God for mature people. But sometimes it's not that. It's not that.
No. I mean, there's some times in niggas where they want to, but then you cut them off. I cut them off.
When niggas what?
Sometimes when niggas, like, if you say like I'm done, or that you give them bad news and they want to push back on you, then we start fighting and going back and forth. Now it's unhealthy. Now it's unhealthy. What the fuck?
Now you pulling out bad news about me that you had in the archives.
It's like, now it's not. Now that's not healthy.
I don't like when people do that.
That's
you
not
give them
healthy.
some bad news, and then they like, well,
that's what you've been doing. Like, you should have used a different time to be assertive.
Yeah, use a different time.
Don't use the time that I'm being assertive.
Yeah, don't do that.
To now get back at me, because now it's turned into aggression.
Yeah, now it's tit for tat.
Yeah, what the fuck? I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's
That's not cool.
No.
It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, don't do that. Let's just communicate openly.
Yeah.
Are you good with standing up for your rights? You gotta fight for your rights.
Yeah. I'm good. I'll be like, no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. It's a no for me. For the most part, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty good at standing up for I feel like I have to stand up for me. Sometimes I feel like a pit bull in a skirt. Sometimes I feel like a pit bull in a little motherfucking skirt. Like, are these people serious? Do they think that they can just do whatever, say whatever? What the fuck is wrong with you? I feel like I have to be like that because people will try you.
They will.
They will really try you and make you have to stand up and be like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty good about standing up for what I believe in and my rights, especially if I feel like a motherfucker trying to do me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm actually coming at you. Then I gotta pull back.
It gets aggressive.
Yeah, I have to pull back because I'm so passionate about defending myself and protecting myself that I have to make sure that I'm channeling my communication at that point in a way that doesn't feel defensive, but more like, actually, no.
And that's what I do. And that's what I
check
would say,
has to occur.
I would say I stand up for myself, but it's usually in an aggressive way.
Yeah. It airs on the side of who you fucking with.
I want to stand up for myself in a more graceful, assertive way where it's like, you're playing with the wrong one. You're not, that's not going to get past me. But not to where I'm just like, bucking because I'm spicy.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what the fuck? What would make you think that was okay? That's dumb as fuck. Like, I'll really just go really far. And it's
I agree.
Now, what are you? And then it's like, because what?
But I think that truly
have
comes
me thoroughly
that comes from a place of defending myself now. Now I see you didn't want to protect me. I have to.
Yeah.
Now that comes from there. So, don't test me. Don't push me. I'm on the edge.
Don't test me.
Don't test.
But I do, like you said, want to have more grace.
Yeah.
And a more refined approach. I can't help it. I mean, I can do better, but I'm spicy. My mom's spicy. My grandma. I've come from a spicy bloodline.
Yeah.
I come from a spicy bloodline.
I definitely got cayenne pepper in mine. I'm like, baby, it's adobo pepper. It's
flakes.
adobo pepper. I'm
habanero.
Like, listen, baby, because you're not playing. You playing with the wrong one. And I'm going to let you know each and every time. But there's a way to say you playing with me, and I'm not going to let you without being like, who the fuck you playing with?
I know. I had saw that Ty had looked up something on Chat GPT, like how to politely reject someone. And I'm like, I need to be looking up shit like that. How to be assertive and not aggressive when delivering this line. Because, baby, sometimes I just be having to say it. Especially because I'm not expressive too. So it's not like I'm super emotional and expressive all the time. So when it gets to the point where I got to say it, sometimes I'm like, let's just say it. I don't fucking like it. I actually hate it.
Yeah, you will say I hate it.
I'm pissed.
I know. Okay, y'all. It's good. It's going to get better. We're taking a quick break and we're coming back right after this.
Okay, we're back. So let's get into some of the benefits of being assertive. I think they're good to know.
Mm-hmm.
What you can gain from stepping more into this way of being. So the first thing is improved communication, which is what we've been talking about. Yeah. Assertiveness helps you express your thoughts, your feelings, your needs clearly and directly without the aggression, which is good because that leads to more open and honest conversation. It leads to your objective getting accomplished. If you're communicating with someone a certain way, it's more likely that your goal will be met versus talking crazy or aggressive. Because I know if someone's talking aggressive with me, that's gonna flip the switch to something else.
Yeah, now we both about to be knucking and bucking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if someone's assertive, like people have been assertive with me, and I've had no choice but to respect it. Even if in the moment I'm in the defensive, when I take a moment to reflect, I'm like, well.
They said what they needed to be said. Yeah.
They told me, checked me.
They got me together. Yeah, we love to say you get a person together.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to respect it. It's like, wow.
It was so funny. So obviously you see we record in a studio and we haven't been here in 2 months, right? And there are people who do all types of things in this building, right?
So many things.
But mainly therapy. So
there's a lot of LCSWs.
Tons. MCSWs. There's a bunch of SWs.
Yeah.
So we have one next door. And they were like holding a group therapy session and talking and doing their whole things. And the walls aren't soundproof. Unfortunately, because we're doing podcasting doesn't mean they've taken that into consideration. So we can hear what's going on a lot of times. So y'all, they started cackling.
Yeah,
and usually we
it
can
was bleeding through the mic.
It was bleeding. Okay, so Brittany and I have gotten to the point where we take turns when we have to go.
No,
tell
we ain't
somebody.
taking turns.
We do.
I've been telling all the
She
people.
say that, but that's
I
not
have.
true. I've said some nice things to people too. I've been like when I had to go. I went down there before.
I've had to go across to the funeral.
We both had to go places.
I've had to go.
We've done. We've been here for a long time. We both done. So it was my turn today, and I'm like, now I got to draw on the notes. I'm like assertive. I'm like walking out the door. I say, it's okay to say what you need. It's okay to say what you want. But it's true. It's like, how are you supposed to, how do you expect someone to know what it is that you need or know that there's a problem or an issue if you don't assert your position? And Brittany was like, is it going to look aggressive if we both go together? I'm like, no, we're going to look united. We're going to look like friends who are going here. Yeah. Really not to be aggressive, but to just say, if you could please.
Right. Now you might, you know what we need,
and you might not be met with
you can do whatever you want to do with that information, but we felt better knowing that we at least tried and asserted ourselves, because we would have just been sitting in here
wondering when they're gonna shut the fuck up.
They gonna we gotta.
Right. It's like say what it is.
Yeah.
And now you know what, in the future they'll be more mindful. Like, okay, they probably recording. I'll do my best. And we opened it up. If ever we are too loud, come over, knock on the door, say something.
Right.
But yes, do what you need to do to be heard. Another benefit of being assertive is enhanced self-esteem and confidence.
Every time you say confidence, you say it like
confidence. It's true. So when you stand up for yourself and you are able to articulate what you need, it boosts your confidence like that. It's like flexing that muscle. You know, you build a better self-image, more self-respect. Other people, to your point that you just made, although you might not like what somebody has to say, when they can deliver it in a way that is just assertive, it in turn makes them respect you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I can see where they were coming from. Didn't like it so much. And that's really has to do with our own emotions.
Yeah.
And what we're experiencing. Because if we remove the subjectivity and the emotion, then we can see objectively whatever needed to be said probably just needed to be said.
Every time.
It has nothing to do with you.
Most times. If you're a person that's aware and has some sort of sense about you, when you sit back, you're like, I get it. Let me stop being emotional. Because sometimes the immediate response is emotion.
Yeah.
Like, what? What are you saying? I did something wrong or this.
Yeah.
It could go somewhere.
It does. So, yeah. We need to be confident girlies. We want to be stepping.
We do.
Stepping, moving like, okay.
Right.
I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
Confidence. She's confident. That's where I get it from. That song, that Justin Bieber song, Confidence.
Oh, she's confident. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. She's confident.
I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought you were singing it to the tune of Impossible.
I am singing. I'm doing both. Whenever I say confidence, I'm singing it, it's possible. But when I say she's confident, I'm singing to a Justin Bieber tune. Now she's caught on.
Okay, so being assertive will also benefit your relationships. You're going to have better relationships because there's that mutual respect. Definitely. If we're both asserting ourselves, it's respect at the forefront. I respect you. You respect me. But also it can help you set healthy boundaries.
Boundaries are key.
For real. Which can lead to more balanced and fulfilling relationships.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of us don't have boundaries. It's not because we don't know what they are, but it's because we have a hard time communicating them to other people. The bitches are back.
Let's hurry up. About to start.
So yeah, you have to be able to communicate your boundaries, and so that people can know what's gonna fly and what's not.
Yeah.
So your relationships will be better when you have those boundaries in place and you're able to communicate them.
Yes. Another benefit is it reduces your stress and anxiety. When you are able to clearly communicate what it is that you need and what it is that you want, you often experience less like this feeling of tension. Like, okay, now I'm nervous that I got to say something. We all know that feeling that builds up in our chest or in the pit of our stomach when we have to deliver news or say something to someone. It's like, now I have to fucking build myself up to say what it is that I want to say. And it's tough. Yeah. It's really tough. But this in return helps to lessen the chance that you will experience or feel resentment towards somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? So do what you need to do. You know, you don't want to be frustrated and resentful because of unexpressed emotions or feelings.
Definitely. You also don't want to feel like you don't have control over your life, and being assertive will help you feel like you have greater control over your life because you're able to make decisions and take charge over the things that you want to do. If you don't want to do something, you can say, I actually don't want to do that. Like, you know, I don't want to participate. Or if you do want to do something, you're able to say, yes, I actually do want to participate. You're not cowering over and not speaking your mind. So you have greater control over your life. This is so good. No, really. Yeah. And also, you will not be getting manipulated. Sometimes when you don't speak up, people manipulate you. And people can sense it, and they can say, she never pushes back. Not to say that we want to be combative, but she's a yes girl. If I present, she gonna do it. You know, there's all that one. We all have that one person where
that
we can
one
be
coworker,
like, I know she
friend.
Gonna do it. I'm gonna call her. I know she gonna do it. She can have anything going on. She gonna do it.
And we all have that other friend who's like, girl, no.
Yeah, you know, the other people like, she's boundaried up.
Yeah, a fence around this girl. You ain't getting to her.
You be scared to ask them, like, by any chance, are you available?
Do you have the time?
Do you have the capacity?
Do you see it fit in your schedule? Is there an opening?
No pressure.
Yeah.
But if you can.
If you can make yourself.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Don't let nobody manipulate you.
Period. Another benefit, y'all, conflict resolution. We know that assertive communication and being assertive can prevent little hiccups. Us having like real lemon squeezes. We go from having a lemon squeeze to a lemon stand. Like, damn, I don't
like that.
What? But it could be so much better if it's like, I'm feeling a thing, so let me talk to you about it before it worsens and deepens. And when we have assertive communication, it also leads us coming up with more productive solutions, right? We can be solution oriented because we're not pointing the finger and dragging each other through the mud. When we have an issue, we come to the table and we talk. Yeah. It's like, do you have the space? Are you open to talking right now so that we can share how we feel? And then a solution is created.
Yeah.
That we both feel good about.
Yes.
You know?
That's the key.
That's what you want to do.
Right.
You want to come to a resolution that you both feel strongly about, where you can say, I'm committed to this. I'm committed to making these changes, and now we move forward.
Right.
We go in grace.
Versus not saying anything at all and people not knowing where you stand. Or being aggressive and stating your point and then being like, and that's that on that.
I know.
Like, no, it's not.
So many friendships have ended because of this. Because you are not able to be assertive. You're either passive aggressive or just aggressive. I hate a passive aggressive bitch.
I hate it.
It's like, girl, say what you want to say.
Please.
Please say what you want to say. Please. I'm not passive aggressive.
No.
I'm not. I either fuck with it or I don't.
I'm not passive aggressive either.
I'm either cool with it or I'm not.
Yeah, the passive aggressive doesn't work.
It's
and
weak.
I don't like when people are being passive aggressive and you notice a shift and it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
Please tell me what happened so that we can either work through it or be done with it. But don't be passive aggressive.
Passive aggressivity is such a flawed characteristic. It's so nasty.
And it's so rude.
It's so nasty. Like when you're in a group setting and somebody's just egging on being passive aggressive,
or like being fake with you, like saying little nasty comments.
Yeah, stuff. Stand up. Either you're gonna be a bully bitch or you ain't.
Right.
Own it. If you want to be nasty, be nasty. And then I can see you for what you are. If you want to be passive, then fine. Go over there and be passive. But then
little moments of bully and then hopping out trying to be moments of cool.
Girl, pick a side.
That's
disgusting.
Manipulation.
It's disgusting. I hate to see it. I honestly hate to be in the company of a passive aggressive bitch. It just makes me feel like you're immature. It's giving immaturity.
What's that song say?
What?
Go ahead, stand on that. Go ahead, stand on that.
Oh, Boss Man D-Lo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
stand
Boss Man D-Lo. Mm-hmm.
Pick a side.
Please.
The final benefit that we're going to be sharing is professional growth. Mm-hmm. So in the workplace, being assertive can really help propel you. It can help you have better performance reviews. It can help you have better relationships with your coworkers. It can help you negotiate raises.
Yeah.
It can help you speak about injustices. It can help you just have better dialogue with your boss. Maybe it's about your workload, capacity. We have to be assertive. And I know sometimes when we're in these positions where we have a superior, it can feel like there's no room for that. But there is always room to assert yourself in a respectful way, which is what being assertive is. Like, I just have a concern, or vocalize it.
Speak up for yourself.
Speak up.
Yeah.
We have to. So can you share an experience where being assertive has significantly impacted your life? Like, was there a moment where you were like, I did that?
Hell yeah.
I'm glad I did it.
Hell yeah. When I first entered the corporate workspace, I had that sort of power dynamic at my job. There was somebody who was like, we worked in a team, and we had a day, and she basically tried to little bro me. Like, she was so rude to me. She asked me a question, and either I didn't have the answer, or I didn't give her the answer that she wanted, and she shut the door in my face.
What?
She shut the door in my face, right? She initially, what she did, so I was doing discharge planning. She was my case manager. So I was working on placement for my patients or whatever. She called me because we're in 2 separate offices, and she was like, did you set up transfer for this patient to LTAC? And I was like, no. I was explaining to her what was going on, and she hung up the phone in my face. So I was boiling, because now I'm in the position of I need to defend myself, because bitch, what the fuck? And we had already been, it already hadn't been a synergetic, harmonious. She was a bully at work. She was already a bully. Yeah. So the relationship hadn't been harmonious, but I was like, persevering through it. So when she hung up in my face, I was like, oh no, this is the last straw. I called my mama. I'm like, Ma, telling her what was going on. And my mom knows this lady too, because they used to work together.
Oh wow.
And my mom's like, she's a bully, bitch. You gonna have to check her, right? It's always that.
The bully bitch.
She's, because there are certain people who like to throw their weight around, and they really are dealing with their own insecurities, and they're projecting them onto other people. So I got off the phone with my mom. I went down to her office, and she was in the midst of having a meeting, like a Zoom meeting almost. And I knocked on the door, and I'm like, did you hang up on me? This, and that. She was like, did you arrange the transportation? And I'm like, no. And And she shut the door in my face.
Was she a black woman?
She was. And that's even worse. Yeah. That's even worse. She shut the door in my face, and I was like, oh, hell no. So at that point, I'm like, there's no resolve with me and her. We can't talk. I took it to my director, and I just expressed, like, this is how I'm feeling. I need to assert my emotions, my experience with her. I'm not going to just let her. I'm not going to be passive.
Right.
And just take it.
Hanging up, the slamming, the closing the door in the face, just complete disregard.
How are you carrying on like that in a professional environment?
Oh, people will.
Sickening. So I told my director, and I was like, you got to take me off of this assignment. I'm not going to work with her. She will see that she might be unprofessional, but I am not.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you by removing myself. Because it would have been one thing if I would have just kept letting her work with me, and she not thinking that her actions didn't have consequences. They do. I was up out of there, and I felt so good for standing up for myself, because I had never worked in a corporate environment. I've only worked in, like, different settings where that type of vibe, that don't even happen, not with your colleagues. I've gone at it with my manager before, but it don't be like that. So I was like, I'm new here. I don't really know if I have the space to say anything. This is my team member. What the fuck? And I said, no, girl, I have to stand up for myself.
She is seen as management, well, not management, but like superior if she's a case manager.
No, we just work together. We're just on a team, and she has a different role than I do. It's not a superior or not. Like, I'm a case manager now, and I have a discharge planner, but they're not under me. We just all work. We do different things on the team. But I was just at that point feeling like, I don't want to out my case manager and like to my boss now and tell her that the team is not effective.
But no,
and thinking about the consequences, like what's going to happen now, because she was there before I was there. I was new, and I said, no, you got to know that this lady is actually unprofessional. She's unhinged.
Yeah,
carrying on like that, you're unhinged. And I just felt so good. I'm like, I'm always going to stand up for myself, and typically I do. I'm not one that's just going to lay down and take it. You can't fuck me. You could never fuck me. You actually can't. What about you? When have you been very assertive in your life and it's impacted?
I won't say that this has been a significant impact, but
significant is like
yeah.
Y'all get what we saying.
Right. But I will say that a place where I found being assertive is very beneficial and necessary is when dating, because earlier when dating, I would not assert myself so early on, because I want the impression of me to be good. I don't want people to feel like I'm doing too much. I want it to be harmonious. Yeah, I want it to be like, chill. But as I've gotten older, I realized that doesn't benefit me, because then I end up in shit where it's like, well, what have I gotten myself into? Mm-hmm. And so lately I've been asserting myself. Like a more recent dating experience, sometimes when men would say stuff, I would just like laugh it off, like, you are crazy. Like,
yeah,
what?
Let it roll off your tongue.
Yeah, but I'm like, no, this is a time when you're dating someone in the beginning stages to clearly communicate what you're looking for, what you're not okay with, how you're navigating, and not in like a rigid way where like you're just laying it all out like a job interview, but just in conversation, like casual conversation, any ways that you can like squeeze it in and like, say where you stand. And so I was telling this man, I was like, yeah, at this point in my life, I'm at where I'm dating, I'm not interested in having sex with anyone that I'm not like really in a serious relationship with. So like, and I would really have to feel like emotionally connected to them. Mm-hmm. And normally I don't think that I know that I wouldn't like assert myself and say that. I would just like navigate differently. Yeah. Like I would just behave differently. Like, stop. No, we not. But I'm like, let me just say it so that you know. And if you want to continue on, cool, great. And if not, that's great as well. But at least I know that I asserted myself and I said it. And I feel like it impacted me because the way that I felt, like I really did feel like I respected myself after that. I felt proud that I just said it. Something that can be sticky and potentially change a situation. I said it with confidence. Like, yeah, this is where I'm at. And so, yeah, I don't really care how you think about it or how you feel about it. Like, this is how I feel. And that felt good, and I'm continuing to do that because it's necessary. You're not about to waste my time, and I don't want to waste yours either.
Right. If you want somebody, you could just fuck on and get out.
We don't have to waste each other's time. It's great if we can just decide if we're on the same page or not.
Yeah. I like that. Proud of you.
So that's been a recent time of assertion, because, baby,
there was a time when it wasn't
There was a time
happening.
when I'm just going with the wind, and I'm like, where the fuck?
Where has it blown me?
Yeah.
And you look up wondering where it's blown you.
To hell.
So we're going to blow to a break. And we're going to come right back with our next segment, Tools for Your Toolkit. Stick around.
All right, girl pops and boy pops. Before we get into the tools for the toolkit, please make sure you are rating, reviewing, and sharing the pod. That is necessary. We took a break, so we need to get back on people's radars.
Yeah.
And the way we do that is by you sharing the episode. So if it's something that you like, if it's something that you think a friend would like, please do us a solid and share the episode. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really helpful, y'all. This podcast has grown so organically over the last almost 8 years, and a lot of it just comes from word of mouth. Us being your favorites, us sending it to your group chats, us posting in your story. Y'all know social media is the of people's lives. So share it.
Share bread and the butter.
The bread and the butter,
babe. That you put on the bread.
Yeah, share it. If you are looking to get more of this, you're loving the episodes, you're like, oh my goodness, I've stumbled upon a gem. I love when that happens, when people stumble upon this pod and they see that there's so much content and they really love it and they feel like they are like, immersed in a new community and we're your people. That's very true, but you might want even more, and we have more available at our Homegirl Hangout that's hosted over on Patreon. There's just tons and tons and tons of bonus content, so if you're looking for that more, click the link in the bio and I promise you will be satisfied.
Hey y'all, we're back. Time for some tools for your toolkit.
Because who would we be if we didn't equip you
with ways that you can be more assertive
and better?
Better. The first tip we have is to use I statements. Mm-hmm. So when you use I statements, that makes you sound less accusatory when you're talking with somebody else, because I feel like a lot of times when we're having these conversations, we're like, you did this and I don't like that. And we're quick to get our point across. We lead with what they did, and we want to let them know what they did.
Yeah. Baby, I'm coming in hot with that one. Let me tell you something.
Yeah. But when we flip it and we take ownership, I think that's when we demand the respect and actually the change.
Yeah. Because
you're telling somebody like, I feel frustrated, or I need this in order to be able to do that. It really changes the dynamic. So,
and I think it offers a little bit of accountability, or it then gives us the space to join in partnership, right? Like if I'm somebody that you care about and I'm telling you how you make me feel and I'm saying I feel this way, then now you can be like, let me see how I can change.
Right.
Or I can help contribute to making things better. I like that.
Yeah, instead of being like,
You
always
now
late.
I'm defensive. Now I got a hand
yeah,
up.
like you always late. You always
Defensive
late. You could
wounds.
never be on time. Instead of saying something like that, coming in with that tone, you can be like, I really feel frustrated when you're late. It messes up my schedule. It throws me off. I would really appreciate it if you can be more considerate of the time.
Yeah.
Like, because I know I could be like, why are you?
I know. We just coming straight out the
Yeah,
gate.
but when you change it and you're like, this is how it makes me feel, because it usually is a way that it makes us feel. Somebody late makes it feel like the person's inconsiderate, like you don't care, So some other examples of I statements is, instead of saying you're so needy and controlling, you can say, I feel frustrated when you make me feel guilty for wanting to hang out with my friends. Because that is controlling. You're trying to make me feel guilty, but I don't gotta come like that. I have to tell you how you make me feel. I feel frustrated. I don't like how it makes me feel when you run a guilt trip when I say I want to have a couple of girls' days. So don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's tons of others. Y'all know how to use your noggin. But just flip it, Lead with how you feel.
Yeah.
I.
For sure. Next tip is to be clear and direct. This is the one that I'm constantly working on, y'all. It's a battle.
The clear and direct?
Yeah, being clear and direct. So make sure you communicate your message clearly and directly without being vague or beating around the bush. I actually have a hedge of bushes, and I be like trying to clip them down.
Yeah, and I hate when you do that.
I'm trying. You don't feel like I've gotten better at all?
I'm sure you have. I'm just saying how I feel. I'm not saying you haven't gotten better. I'm just saying I'm just saying how frustrating it is when you do that, because I know that you do it because you think that you're like trying to soften the blow or get around. And for some people that might be good, but for me, I'm like, girl, what are you actually saying? You haven't even said what you're trying to say. What are you saying?
I feel like we haven't had that moment in a while.
No, I'm saying when we did have it.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't feel
when
like
we did have the moment.
Okay, did. Past tense. That means I'm better.
Past. Yeah.
So I feel like I'm so conscious of beating around the bush or being vague or generalizing that now I try to make sure that I'm like, okay, what do I actually want to say? What are my wants? What are my needs? And what do I want you to understand take from this conversation? I find that sometimes it's hard to clearly like be direct, because like you said, I'm trying to soften the blow, or I'm trying to make sure that I don't make the other person feel just anything. Mm-hmm. It's like, let me go in here. So Andres and I have been talking about.
You're trying to be too controlling.
Control their response to what it is that I want to say. So Andres and I have already decided that we're getting married next year, right? And we've also already decided that we're going to have a short engagement. So this time next year is coming fast, y'all.
Right.
And Andres is a very spontaneous person. He perceives time differently than I do, and I am a person who likes to plan and have my things in order. So although I am not engaged and I am waiting on him to propose, I don't want to wait on the proposal to move forward with like planning whatever it is that we're gonna have, like a wedding or a ceremony. So I debated, like, I want to give him the space to like have his proposal and do all the things and not feel like I'm controlling the whole thing. But then I was like, actually, I need to tell you how I feel. And I feel that even though we've made all these decisions, we actually got to start planning some shit now. We got to start working on it, babe. I'm sorry. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed and anxious and all of the things. I don't want you to feel it. But I don't want to feel it either. I don't want to feel it.
I don't want to carry it all.
I don't want, because what's going to happen is
you're going to be
ring will be flipped on, and it's going to be like, now there's 4 months until, and I'm going to be like, wow.
Right.
Trying to gather all my troops and, figure it out. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I told him, like, we had a clear conversation. I'm like, let's select a date. Let's figure out what we want to do. Because up until now, everything has been very theoretical. Right. Like, this is what we would do. This is what we want to do. But none of us are in the market of understanding, like, what does the wedding landscape look like? So we have no idea of what's really happening out there.
Right.
And I'm like, the best thing we can do is prepare ourselves. So let's start working towards it. And I was very clear with him. And I'm like, this is very important, babe. Because Andres don't be seeing it like that.
Right, which is why you have to be assertive, because just because just because he doesn't naturally see it like that
Don't
doesn't
mean
mean
it
that
don't
you
need
can't
to be
open his
seen.
eyes.
Don't
Yeah,
need, we
that
gotta
it don't
see
need
it.
to be seen.
We gotta see it.
And
I got
think
my eye
sometimes
drops
we don't say nothing because it's like
because I want to appear
but
like I'm going with the
sometimes-
flow.
right? But you can't.
No, I got the Visine out. I said, lean your head back,
Yeah,
squeeze,
let me
now
show you
open
what's
up
really
clearly.
going on.
And through this like past few weeks or since we've been processing and like figuring out what it is that we want to do, he understands now that, oh, I see.
Right.
I see that we do have to start working on this. So that was a real life experience in real time where I was like, okay, gotta assert myself. I cannot be passive in this.
No,
I don't want to be passive. And I think that has been a dance because I've come off as aggressive in regards to like, you know, the marriage and the proposal. I've been aggressive in the past. So now I had to say, nigga, where's the fine line?
yeah,
Where's the fine line?
right.
And I think I settled on a sweet spot.
Good
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, I feel
for
good
you.
about it.
It's important.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be clear and direct because I want it to be crystal clear what I'm asking for. And because I'm a person who can see into not the future.
Oh,
not the future.
I'm like,
No,
Raven,
I can't see into
you
the
can
future.
gaze into the future.
But because I'm a planner and an organizer, I want to like, and I'm a realist. I'm like, realistically, this is what it's really going to look like. Like,
yeah.
so can we do this or not? Regardless of what that is, a business plan, a recording or whatever. Like, actually, this is really all the steps that it's going to take.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be clear and direct about that so that we can see if we can really achieve it, because ain't nothing like being in the clouds.
Yeah.
When real life be happening. So another tip with being assertive is to maintain eye contact. That's really important.
I'm looking at you.
Weird.
Maintaining a little eye contact.
That when you have eye contact with somebody, that conveys confidence and sincerity that is appreciated. If somebody's saying something and they looking off to the side and doing all that, like, it's weird. And so when someone's like having eye contact with you and that's communicating something.
That we're both engaged.
A seriousness. I'm here, I'm locked in, and this is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Look into these people's eyes.
Look into their souls.
Look into their souls. I love to make eye contact when I'm talking to somebody, and I've talked to somebody who don't, and I'm like, nigga, I'm right here. Where are you at?
Mm.
Like, come bring your eyes right here. You looking off to the side and shit.
What's going on?
And that man was a liar.
Cheater.
Liar.
Who is this? Who is this? Who we talking
Cheater.
about? A deceiver, heartbreaker, and I won't let you back in my life. So I'm taking
The house, the car, the kids, and the dog.
I want it all.
Okay, so one
know,
one that
who's
was
that
having
person
a
that
hard
you're
time
talking
making eye contact was a liar, the love bomber. Another
Oh,
one that had a
the
problem.
recent love bomber?
Yeah, another one that had a problem. He wasn't a liar. It's just I don't think his confidence was like where it needed to be, and I need you to have confidence.
Who
You
was
have to
that?
have a baseline of confidence. I don't want to.
You don't have to.
You didn't want to tell me. I
I
could tell
know
you.
who is. Okay, she gonna tell me off air.
Yeah, I could tell you off the air shit.
Okay, I thought you were
Because I
gonna do a
don't.
little.
People be listening to
Like,
this
you know when
podcast.
we go like, then I would have been like, okay.
There's so many people. I mean, not like that, but
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah,
who the
then I
fuck is
wouldn't know.
that?
Because there's a few, if they were like the serious ones, then I would know. If you were like, the one, then I would
But
say,
no, it's not.
I
none
know
of
him.
Them. It's not none of them.
okay. Another thing you want to do is watch your tone and your body language. So use
Combination.
calm, steady, like body language, open, relaxed body language. You know, making sure that you're not coming at somebody crazy. You know, you come in with the,
Aggression.
yeah, like,
fire.
what's up? What's up? You know what I mean? Be mindful of avoid crossing your arms or, you know, being too.
I'm gonna hold your hand while I say.
Yeah,
this.
you want to hold their hand when you say
I'm
it.
gonna hold your hand while I say this.
Yeah, you don't want to appear tense.
Your behavior.
Yeah, honestly, when you come
It has
in,
to be adjusted. Like it's making me feel all tense and I'm frustrated.
when you
I
come in
love you.
serious and, you know, like in a way where it's like I'm standing my ground,
Yeah.
but not in a way where I'm defensive, then people understand what's up. Imagine being like, I just want to let you know how I feel, and you're all crouched
know.
over or you're coming
Like that.
Yeah,
Like
what?
that little snip with Ari and Bobby. When Ari was
Oh
telling
yeah, she's
Bobby,
like, yeah, motherfuckers. Yeah, that exactly. This my girl. Yeah, motherfucker. It's that. Okay, same. Use that.
Yeah, the tone, the body language is really important. Like when you're thinking, I was wondering if you could you help me out by,
Right.
you know, like not I was wondering, I was thinking, can you, can you, you
Put
know,
it
say
on the
can
table.
you?
Would you mind?
Would
I
you
could really
mind?
use your assistance here.
Yeah, I would really love if you could consider the time that you come in and,
Period.
you know,
Yeah.
because it makes me feel like this. You have to be assertive. Otherwise, people will not take it serious. You have to really be like, and it can't happen again. You know, things
Yeah.
like that.
I'm going to leave you with this.
Next tip, learn to say no.
Mm.
Yeah. If it's an unreasonable request, we have to practice saying no without feeling guilty. It's a no for me. I'm not going to be able to participate. No.
Hard no.
Nah.
Hard no.
Ner. Yeah. You can give a brief explanation if it's necessary. There's some instances where you do have to back up the no with an explanation, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes just the no is
Complete
enough.
sentence.
Like no, thank you.
No, I'm okay.
Yeah. And that's that.
We have so many episodes on that, and
Yeah.
also so many episodes on this. Set boundaries, y'all. Clearly define your limits and communicate them to other people. Communicate them. Yeah, don't have a boundary and nobody knows what it is. Girl, let me know. Right. What the fuck is going on the inside?
Right.
Let me know. And, you know, be firm and polite when somebody oversteps or challenges your
boundary.
boundary.
Put them back in line.
Period. Back their ass up. And they get to overstep and you got to say, this is actually a boundary for me. And let them know. It really comes down to the communication. Clearly communicate what the boundary is and clearly communicate when somebody has impeded on it. That's a no for me. And then you can use the no again. Yeah. You can come back around. Boundaries are so important.
I know,
there's so many things. I feel like people at my job don't really have boundaries. And with me, it's like, that's not happening. Mm. We're not doing that here, guys. And I probably seems like the antisocial one, the bitchy one, but it's just a boundary.
Yeah, you're able to create them. And that's the thing. We go in all fluid.
Right. And then wondering why we're in mess or things aren't working to our favor, our advantages, because you don't have no boundaries here. And the thing is, these people ain't your friends.
They're not.
They are not.
They're not always your friends.
Is that a black thing?
No, because black people do it too.
What, go into jobs and be all?
Yeah. Black, but we aren't exempt. We do it too.
Sometimes we do be though.
Sometimes, especially the reason why it seems like black people aren't that commonly intertwined is because we're usually the minority. And we already feel out it.
And we already have a mask on. Right. Like, damn, I have a mask on 8 hours. I actually can't go out of here with y'all and masquerade for longer. I got to get out.
Baby.
I actually have to get out. And we be choosy with who we like to, like, really let us see us without our mask.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I can't let everybody in my job see me without my mask. I be mask on. Exactly. Mask on. Future all day at work. Yeah. Hey. It'd be a version of me, just not the full version.
Yeah, it's your professional version.
Yeah, it's the professional version of me.
You're more lax around
my friends and family,
coworkers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, another tip with this assertiveness is that you have to prepare for difficult conversations. Preparation. Damn, this microphone is beating me up.
In your ass.
When you plan, when you're gonna have a challenging conversation, it's beneficial to plan what you're gonna say in advance. This helps you rehearse the key points and anticipate any possible objections. That's necessary, you know? Yeah. How is this gonna go? If they say this, what I'm gonna say? Not to say it has to be a script written out, but just so that you feel like I'm equipped.
Yeah, strategize.
I'm ready. So here's some go-to phrases when you're faced with a request or an invitation that you're not that into, because this is a frequent one where we often have to assert ourselves because people are just gonna send the invites. They're not always filtering them. That's your responsibility. So you can say, let me get back to you on that. I need to check my calendar. I have a schedule conflict, or I won't be able to. I have plans. But the key part here is if you do use one of these, make sure you circle back and then seal the deal. Because sometimes we'll say this and be like, oh, I asserted myself. But then it'd be left wide open. Yeah. Make sure you be like, I checked my calendar. I'm actually not going to be able to, you know, if that's the one that you use. So
close the loop.
Prepare for those difficult conversations because they're going to happen.
Yeah. Next thing you can do is stay positive and respectful. Anytime you're asserting your needs, you just want to come into the conversation or the interaction, making sure that you're ready to be respectful of yourself and other people. Even if this is something like okay, I don't have no choice but to say how I feel. You have to approach it where, you know, respect for all. And I think even more so in a situation where people might have a difference of difference, an opinion or views, because that's when it could get nasty, when the respect goes out the window. You know, you can't come in assertive and, you know, stating your opinion just because you think that people will agree with you or that you guys are of the same when you might be different. So this helps to keep the conversation constructive and the interaction very healthy.
And the good piggyback to that is we have to accept criticism with grace.
Yeah.
Instead of becoming defensive, we can accept it and move forward with it. Everything doesn't have to be taken at face value, because everybody's criticism don't be right. But if it's someone that you do respect, like we said, staying respectful and positive. If it's someone giving you a criticism, you can use it as an opportunity to grow. You know, like, you know what, I do need to be more mindful of, or I can be a little abrasive. Let me work on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, use it as to your benefit, instead of being like whatever, and then never changing, and then wondering why you're losing people.
Period. Lastly, be consistent. Being assertive and exercising assertiveness is like flexing the muscle. The more you work on it, the easier it'll become. Practice being assertive in different scenarios, different environments, different situations with different people, different types of people, so that your communication style just continues to be refined. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. It's very simple.
Definitely.
You know, don't cower. Stand up.
Right. And to wrap it up, we have to pick our battles. Sometimes being assertive there's context, it's situational. Sometimes there's instances where you may need to be passive, you know, where it's like, I don't need to say anything. And there's some situations where you do need to be aggressive. If someone's really trying you, or if there's a situation where you're like, I have to stand up and boldly say what the hell I need to say, then do that. We're just saying that the capability of being assertive is a great one to have. And it's amazing when you can pull it out and use it.
Yeah.
In the situations where it's required. We don't always want to be passive, and we definitely don't always want to be aggressive.
And we don't want to be asserting ourselves in the shit that don't got nothing to do with us.
Exactly.
That's another thing about picking your battle. Sometimes we're in the midst of things that are happening, and you actually don't have to say anything. There's nothing for you to say. You're not being passive or aggressive or assertive. You just,
right.
It's not my battle. I'm not even on the field. I'm on the sidelines. So understand when those situations are happening.
Girl, that happened to me yesterday. I was at Tender Greens picking up my lunch. It was a little bit of disarray at the pickup stand. Like, the man was calling a name and then just sitting down hella meals, but not saying which meal was which person's. Mm-hmm. So he had called my name, and I went up to get my meal, and he had called two other people who went up to get their meal. It was like a daughter and her mom or grandma or something like that. So I'm getting my stuff, and the daughter's checking her bag to make sure, you know, all the meals are in there. And I'm making sure I get my stuff that somebody has taken and walked away with. And while in the midst of that, the mom comes up like, excuse me. I said, you can wait. Yeah. What are you saying? How are you saying excuse me to someone who's in the midst of doing the same thing you're trying to do? You actually have to wait until they're done or there's room, and then you come up. You know, you don't get to just come up and push them to the side so that you can get your goal met. You have to wait. And I said, you can wait. So then she backed her ass up, and then when I was leaving, she was like, have a nice day. I said, I ain't going to even take it there with you. I didn't say shit else to her, because I could have said, no, you have a nice day.
Yeah, bitch, I'm getting the last word.
But I let her have it.
Pick your battles, beloved. Everything doesn't require a response.
It didn't.
Is what we're saying. So, ladies, we've gotten to the end of the road. It's the final segment of the show. It's time to pick up your pen.
We're dropping a gem.
This is a part of the show where we get to share things that we love. We also invite you to share some things with us that you love. And you can do that by using the Homegirl Hotline. Telephone number is down in the show notes.
Period.
So this week
we're sharing a location.
A place.
It's called the Scent Room. So if you're into luxury fragrances, this is going to be your spot. This spot curates niche fragrances from all over the world. And that's just the beginning of the journey. They have very educated scent specialists, I'm going to call them. I don't know what they're called, but they're specialists. You go in there, you tell them like what notes you like, how you like to smell, what you're trying to evoke, and they will pull a bunch of different scents for you to try. And I love it because, like I said, they're niche. They're not your everyday fragrances that you can just go into Sephora and get.
Yeah.
And that's amazing, especially if you want to smell differently from other people. You know, if you're looking for something different, this is the place to go. And if you aren't in LA, you can go on their website and they have all the different fragrances. They have very detailed descriptions of the different notes and what the main scent is and the undertones and all that. So you can get a good idea that way, and you can get samples. They sell samples. So you can see if it's really a vibe or not. But it's really an experience. It's really an experience when you go in there. And I love places that are like a full immersive experience. And when I first went in there, I was knocked off my feet.
The best thing I love about it is when they give you the samples. Now, the samples aren't cheap. They're not free. They're not free.
They're $10. 7 to 10.
More than that.
Oh, yeah. 10 to 15, 20,
like 20.
10 to 20.
Yeah, my sample was like 16. I'm like. But the good thing is that when you get a sample of a fragrance, if you come back and buy the sample, they'll deduct the cost of the sample from the total of the bottle. Yeah. So, although you're paying for it, it almost ends up being free if you come back and get the bottle. So that's a really nice aspect. And you also don't have to commit to the fragrance. You can see how you like it on your body chemistry, because we know that sometimes it's like the projection or the wear. It seems like you might like it when you first spray it on, but when you get out there and it starts mixing with your body chemistry and your pheromones, you might experience something different. Yeah. So yeah, definitely check out the Scent Room. The location is in the Larchmont area. We'll put it in the show notes so that if you're in the LA area, you can experience.
And tell them that Brittany in Germany sent you, although they probably don't know our names. But Casey works there.
Casey works there, and he's very educated. So we had a great experience. Yeah. We've come to the end of the road, y'all. Hopefully this show has been as helpful to you all as it's been to us. Make sure that you share it and come back again next week. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.